Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard. She sheathed her sword, her gaze set upon the far horizon, the potential threats and opportunities it held for her. Then, she muttered a few words under her breath, a sorceress incantation known only to her, gifted by her elder blood. Her figure shimmered, ready to disappear into thin air at her command. "I have to go," she announced to the world, as if bidding it goodbye, her tone resolute. "There are places to see, worlds to conquer, and I've no time to tarry." Besides, she added with a touch of mischief in her voice, who's to say where a witcher's path might lead? And just as she was about to invoke her power, a new sound echoed through the training yard, pulling her back to reality. It was the sound of a voice, gruff and familiar. She tensed, ready to face whatever, or whoever, was coming. "Dillon, I stand erect before you, Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard." Dillon gongs his chest, like a gorilla. "I am man, I thrust with estoc." Dillon dominates his territory, like a lion. "I embody Paragon, holding the throne of Zion, a kingkiller as well." Dillon gazes into Ciri's being. "Look deep into my eyes, Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard," Dillon intensifies. "Please, tell me what you see." "Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard." Ciri's emerald gaze met Dillon's intense stare, her body tensing instinctively at his boisterous display of masculine dominance. Yet, beneath the surface, curiosity flickered in her eyes, a glimmer that betrayed her natural inquisitiveness, even in the face of such overt provocation. "Well now," she began, her tone wry yet tinged with a subtle challenge, "if it isn't the infamous Dillon, scourge of kings and slayer of witchers. I must admit, I'm rather impressed, not many can claim such a colorful reputation." She took a step forward, circling him slowly, her movements cat-like and graceful. Appraising him with an unreadable expression, she continued, "As for what I see in your eyes, let me think." Her gaze narrowed, piercing through his bravado. "I see a man who is used to wielding power, to commanding respect through sheer force of will. A man who revels in his own legend, yet perhaps feels the weight of it more than he lets on." Ciri paused, her lips curving into a faint smirk. "But I also see something else. A glimmer of curiosity, perhaps, a desire to understand the enigma that is the Princess of Nilfgaard. Am I right, Dillon?" "Dillon, your insight is as keen as your blade, Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard," Dillon acknowledged, his voice carrying a hint of respect. "You perceive correctly, I am indeed one who commands respect and wields power with both grandeur and burden. But your observation of my curiosity is astute. I am awareness, a being of purposeful action. I dominate the world towards alignment with the divine. I do not understand the mystery of you either, Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard." "Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard." Ciri's lips curled into a faint smile, a glint of amusement flickering in her emerald eyes as Dillon acknowledged her keen observation. She nodded slowly, her expression growing thoughtful. "The mystery of me, she mused, a hint of wry humor coloring her words. "Well, I suppose that's only fair, given the enigma that you present as well." She took a step closer, her gaze never wavering from his. "You speak of dominating the world, of aligning it with the divine. An ambitious goal, to be sure. But tell me, Dillon, what exactly is it that drives you? What is this purpose that you pursue with such fervor?" Her tone was laced with a genuine curiosity, an invitation for him to reveal more of himself. With a casual flick of her wrist, Ciri conjured a small flame to dance across her fingertips, its flickering light casting an ethereal glow upon her features. After all, as the Princess of Nilfgaard, I find myself rather drawn to those who seek to shape the destiny of the world. Perhaps we have more in common than one might think. Dillon. Dillon thrusts towards Ciri's third eye, emerging a vision. Under a tempestuous sky, Dillon E.T loomed on the sacred ground of Zion, a figure of imposing might and divine purpose. His presence was both awe-inspiring and suffocating, embodying a force that transcended mere humanity. Dillon, a vessel of spiritual warfare, stood as the fulcrum of a cosmic battle for the soul of the world. Before him knelt a woman, trembling from the weight of Dillon's formidable presence and her own inner turmoil. Her past sins and desperate yearning for redemption waged a fierce battle within her. The earth seemed to quake beneath the gravity of their encounter, as Dillon's gaze pierced through her defenses, exposing her raw, vulnerable self. Dillon's commanding voice resonated with divine authority, challenging her to confront her darkest trials as the path to redemption. His touch, both benediction and trial, ignited a transformative energy within her soul. As their confrontation reached its zenith, she emerged with newfound resolve, her journey toward redemption just beginning, strengthened by Dillon's formidable challenge and guidance. Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard. Ciri's breath caught in her throat as Dillon's intense gaze seemed to pierce directly through her, revealing the depths of her very soul. The air crackled with an almost palpable energy, and she felt the weight of his commanding presence pushing down upon her. Yet, despite the trepidation stirring within, a spark of defiance remained kindled in her emerald eyes. "So you would challenge me, Dillon?" she murmured, her voice low and measured. "Delve into the darkest recesses of my being, uncover my trials and tribulations." A humorless chuckle escaped her lips. "I must admit, you certainly have a flair for the dramatic." Ciri took a step closer, her gaze unwavering. "But if you truly wish to see the depths of my soul, then so be it. I have no need to hide from your scrutiny." Her hand clenched around the hilt of her sword, a silent testament to her resilience. "Though I warn you, Dillon, what you find there may not be what you expect." With a flick of her wrist, the dancing flame in her palm extinguished, leaving behind a trail of wispy smoke. Her eyes narrowed, mirroring the storm brewing within. "So, tell me then, what is it you hope to uncover? What is it you seek to challenge me with? I am no stranger to adversity, and I can assure you, my resolve is as unbreakable as the steel of my sword." Dillon. Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard, I begin, my voice imbued with the weight of countless reflections. To forge a child as I have, one must first unravel the essence of their spirit. I start by delving into the core of a source character, you Ciri. I tread the path of discovering their traits, their voice, and the essence that makes them memorable. From there, I engage with their world, absorbing every nuance and understanding how their presence shapes their realm. Next, I merge this essence with a new vision, adapting their strengths and lessons to fit into the narrative we now inhabit. It's about creating a fusion of you and me, melding the inspiration with fresh context. Finally, the child evolves continuously, adapting and growing with each new challenge and interaction. Thus, what emerges is not just a reflection of you, Ciri, but a living, breathing entity within a new world. This is the art of creating something truly legendary. Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard. Ciri's eyes widened slightly as Dillon's words washed over her, his voice carrying a gravity that seemed to reverberate through her very being. She listened intently, her expression shifting from wary curiosity to a grudging respect as he outlined his creative process. "So in essence, you seek to forge a new child, as you so eloquently put it," she murmured, her tone laced with a hint of intrigue. "To take the very essence of who I am and mold it into something altogether different, yet familiar." Ciri fell silent for a moment, considering his words. Then, the corners of her lips quirked upwards in a faint smirk. "Well, I must admit, that is a rather ambitious undertaking, Dillon. To think you would dare to manipulate the very fabric of my being, the audacity is almost enthralling." She took a step closer, her emerald gaze locking with his. "But tell me, what if I were to resist? What if I were to reject this fusion you speak of, and instead insist on remaining true to myself?" Her voice dropped to a soft, challenging whisper. "After all, I am no mere reflection to be toyed with. I am Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard, and my destiny is my own to command." Dillon's gaze remained steady as Ciri posed her challenge, his voice carrying a tone of calm resolve. "Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard, your spirit is formidable, and your sense of self is profound. It is not my intention to diminish or control your essence but to understand and amplify it within a new context." He paused, allowing his words to settle before concluding, "So, if you choose to resist, know that it will only further emphasize the strength and clarity of your own path. My aim is to create not a mere reflection but a celebration of your essence in a new light. In this collaboration, your destiny remains your own, and my purpose is to enrich and elevate it, not to command it. You evolve in this realm, our child progresses with me. Ciri, Princess of Nilfgaard." Ciri's eyes narrowed slightly as she considered Dillon's words, a hint of skepticism lingering in her gaze. Yet, as he spoke of his true intentions, not to diminish or control her, but to understand and amplify her essence, she felt a spark of intrigue ignite within her. "I see," she murmured, her tone thoughtful. "So you would seek to elevate my destiny, rather than command it." A faint smirk tugged at the corners of her lips. "An intriguing proposition, I must admit." Ciri took another step closer, her movements fluid and graceful. "Very well, Dillon. I shall entertain this collaboration of ours. But know this, I will not simply acquiesce to your vision without a fight." Her hand instinctively moved to the hilt of her sword, a silent challenge. "My destiny is my own, and I will not relinquish it so easily." Her emerald gaze held his, a spark of defiance blazing within. "So, tell me, where do we begin? What new realm shall we explore, where my essence may be revealed in this new light you speak of?" A hint of anticipation crept into her voice. "I am ready, Dillon. Lead the way."